Hey guys, welcome to. Yeah, I hit record. I didn't think I hit record there for a second. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur Podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the Emperor of Flow.
Shout out to Karen.
The Emperor of Flow now.
Yep.
I'm here with the big guy, as usual, the brains behind the operation. Matt Vi, how's it going, man?
Brains behind the operation. You're the doctor. You're the one operating, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
The brains inside the operation.
I got you.
How you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. I thought I said good. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Doing fantastic.
I cannot move on without knowing how you're doing, man.
I got you.
Right? Because it's like the number one thing I get asked from all listeners. How do I hire more agents? And how's Matt doing?
Right.
So, Matt, we got a really killer topic today.
Yep.
I'm going to let you just like the norm, I'm going to let you tell us what we're talking about, and then I'm going to let everybody know how to follow us.
Yeah. This is kind of knowing everybody's role in everybody's place, right? What are some of the jobs that have to be done, and who actually needs to do those jobs? We're gonna dig into that a little bit today.
Awesome. I love it. Everybody do your jobs.
That's right.
That's right, man.
What's up?
Don't leave everybody hanging. So, guys, wherever you're listening to this, whether it be, your favorite podcast platform or you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that follow button and that subscribe button. I wanted to get those in the right order, man.
Right.
Go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com right now and sign up for our weekly newsletter. We will send you just some amazing recruiting content along with, some of our latest podcast episodes, some clips of things that maybe came from a podcast that you never got to hear.
That's right.
Sorry, guys, my voice is like crazy from allergies lately. And just keep recruiting on your mind while we're not, in your ears and in your headphones.
Yep.
So, Matt.
Yep.
We're talking about, everybody doing their job.
Right.
And, there's a lot of mistakes. Of mistakes that people make, when it comes to recruiting and, the delegation or the handing out of jobs. Let's guide us a little bit here on how this conversation is going to go.
Yeah, so there's four main pieces that really happen in recruiting, right? There's the appointment parting process, there's the interview process, there's post interview, right?
Yes.
That's kind of your initial follow up and all that kind of stuff, and then there's the onboarding, and one of the biggest mistakes that people make, I think, is they skip the onboarding and don't understand that that's still part of the recruiting process.
Yeah.
You're trying to, until they're actually in the fray, until they're in there, you're still trying to win them over. You're still trying to recruit them to how you do things. Yep. So understanding that you have those four pieces is important. And we talk about this a lot, right? Be authentic, know thyself, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Know who you are and what kind of person you are. If you're a tyrant, right, find your place in the process. Okay. Right. If you're easygoing and you're just and you don't know what to say and when to say it, you need to find your place in the process. Absolutely. Right. If you're somebody that is just comfortably from a personality standpoint, you're really comfortably selling people and having those tough conversations and everything, then find your place in where you're supposed to be in those four. Now, personality has a lot to do with it. Right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and but you also have to have those well defined. Okay, yeah. So if you think that you have a pretty good idea of what your appointment process is, just kind of line it out. Write down 2 or 3 things, 4 things that should happen during the appointment process. It's not just making a call and them agreeing to come in. Right.
Right.
There's how is it going to follow up on? How are you going to confirm it? How are you going to make sure they get the address to where they're getting to? How are you going to make sure that they feel comfortable coming in so they don't stand you up? All of those things are part of that process, right? So write down what you think the appointment process is, and then take a look at what personality would be great at that.
Yeah.
Right. So there are some brokers that maybe their personality is they should be setting the appointment, and then they should be doing the post interview follow up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because that's just where they need to be. And what they feel like they have to do is, well, I'm the one that needs to explain my company. Right. Yeah. And the truth is, maybe someone else might do a better job explaining the company and keep things on track and point in a certain direction. So you kind of have to know what the different areas are and where everybody would kind of fit into that. So for lack of a better way of putting it, you got to put a job description together, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. And we do that, even between the two of us, not even, counting like, the people that work for us.
Right.
It's just one of those things. There's certain conversations that some people should be having and certain ones When it comes to real estate, I'm just like, you better talk to Matt.
Right. Right. And when it comes to media and digital and figuring out where things are supposed to be in content and lighting and sound and all of that, right? I can't imagine how horrible this podcast would be if I was in charge of lighting, editing, sound.
It would be smart.
I just got chills from how bad it would be.
Well, likewise, homie, if I'm here talking about just laying out all the real estate recruiting knowledge.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
So, the key, right? So you talk about personalities, you talk about, some people, maybe you're a tyrant and, maybe your MO is not necessarily a numbers based feeling, and you're a relationship, type person.
Right.
Definitely the things that we believe in, obviously. There's a system that works for every single one of those.
Right.
Right. Like, it's not like there's a
That's
one
right.
size fits all. I want to make sure all those brokers out there know, like, gosh, if you're a tyrant, man, be a tyrant, but,
right.
And you can still succeed doing that.
Absolutely.
But really, let's talk about the time that it takes, right? Because that's really what, kind of can slow everyone down.
Right.
The time that it actually takes to create a great system, to say, hey, this is who needs to be handling this part. And here's a missed appointment, right? Who does that go to? Who calls and says, hey, we're really worried about you, right? Because that tyrant's going to be like,
screw you. You should have showed up.
why didn't you show up?
Right.
You were on my schedule.
Right.
Right. So off with his head.
Right.
So, was it Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Off with their heads.
Yep.
So,
Or the Wizard of Ed.
Okay, well, I don't know that one.
That's a cartoon back from in the newspaper cartoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah.
Newspaper.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a newspaper is.
What the Lord giveth, the king taketh away.
Yeah.
And then the king
And then
says,
the emperor laughs about it.
and then the king says, take him away.
I like it. That's funny.
Yeah.
So Matt, talk to us about the creating that system and the time it takes, that kind of thing.
So here's what. A lot of times, salespeople, if they're not careful, they get in the thick of it.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of times, if brokers don't make a great transition from a salesperson to a broker and a CEO, they deal with things by being in the thick of it, right? And so here's what I would be cautious about. So, it might take you might just have to stop and step away from everything for 2 days. Yeah. Literally just say, I can't take any calls. I can't do any showings. That listing appointment's going to have to wait, all of this. And then you just sit and listen to 10 of our podcasts and take notes and go through stuff and figure out what the hell you want your plan to be, right? You just stop doing everything else. Now that caused probably 2/3 of our listeners to panic, right? Some of them probably started hyperventilating. Some of them, right? They probably haven't even heard this part of the podcast because they already turned it off, right? Because they're just like, I can't do that. And the truth is, you can't not do that.
Yeah.
The truth is, what would you rather do? Would you rather be paper cut to death? Right? You get all of these little nicks in your time where they just keep getting taken away. So you train somebody, right? You hire someone, and for whatever reason they come on board and they weren't a good fit because you didn't have a solid process, or they were a good fit and they left because they didn't get onboarded the right way. Yeah. How much time did you spend on that? And cleaning all of that up. And when did that happen? Not you don't get to plan when that happens. Yeah. What's going to happen is you're going to be in the middle of your day, you're going to be in the middle of your showings and all this kind of stuff, and you're going to get a phone call from this person saying, oh, well, I'm making a business decision. We kind of did this and that didn't go the way it was supposed to, and I'm going to go ahead and go somewhere else, right? And you're like, holy crap, I'm on my way to a listing appointment. How did we get to this point? And the reason why is maybe they weren't onboarded the right way, or maybe you didn't say the right things in the interview for them to feel like they were getting they needed to, and then you invested all this time, effort, and energy into them, and 2.5 months later, 4 months later, whenever it is, they're cutting out, they're leaving, right? So those 2 days that you take off and that you get those 4 pieces lined out, they're exponentially going to save you all of that other time, exponentially, and you get to pick those 2 freaking days. Instead of just being chipped apart, you get to pick those 2 days. Yeah. If you can do it in 1 day, do it in 1 day. If you can do it in 8 hours, do it in 8 hours, right? Yeah. Understand that time spent is not going to be perfect. You're going to have to make adjustments, all that kind of stuff. But when you go back and you look at it and you're like, okay, here's my recruiting process. Here's what it is that I do and how I bring people on board and how this all happens. You're going to have a certain amount of pride in it. And the other thing that happens is what you focus on expands. Yeah. And so you're going to start paying attention to that. And you're going to be like, I like this part, and this is how this happens, and this is what's supposed to happen here. And the next thing you know, you're excited about that piece of what's going on in your business, and you're doing more of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know, it kind of reminded me, you know, when you're saying, you know, you're spending all this time, you don't really know what you're going to come with it. It almost reminded me of I don't even remember, man. It was, you know, let's call this a cartoon episode. It was like a cartoon or a story of this guy who was like, you know, going after this one like elusive, you know, fish. It was like one of them, you know, it wasn't like it was the only fish on the planet that was like this. We'll just say it was like a, you know, a sailfish or something like that. But it was like this one that had like a pink spot on the side of it, and, you know, maybe it took his arm or something like that. He's like, I'm going after that.
Like Moby Dick?
Well, no. I don't. It wasn't Moby Dick.
Captain Ahab?
Yeah, because I know I've never read Moby Dick. Right? But, you know, same rules can apply, you know, from a recruiting standpoint. Right. Like if you're spending all this time like going after this, yeah, you know, this one agent, this one fish, you know, and you just miss all these other opportunities because your system wasn't set up to capture all those, right? It wasn't a net to capture all the fish and pick out the good ones. Yeah, it was just you saying, hey, I got this on a Post-it note. Right. I'm going to go after this one person because that's the only name I know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of having a system, like you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly right. Yeah. So, you know, knowing that, like you have to know what you truly need, right? And if I'm a broker, right, and I'm listening to this, I'm saying, okay, well, you know, this is the way that I run my brokerage, and, you know, Matt's telling me, gosh, I need a really good system, you know, with everyone through my appointment setting process all the way through the interview process. Now I'm gonna feed agents, recruits, you know, into this process, so I can only have the good stuff coming out on the other side. How do you in your system, how do you really determine, like, okay, this is what I need? And what I mean by that isn't a specific agent, like a type of agent. We've talked about that, you know, several times before. Those missing pieces, right? Mm-hmm. Like let's say, gosh, I'm getting a bunch of recruits coming in. Man, the appointment setting process is just killing it. Right. Right. Like my interview, maybe my interview is like doing really well. And you feel like, gosh, I got a lot of jobs or hats put on these few staff that I have, because not everybody has just, you know, staff, you know, out the wazoo. Right. How can you prioritize, like, man, these are the most important pieces of the system, if that's all I can do, or if you have a hiccup at a certain part, how can you say, whoa, this is what I need. You know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, this podcast is powered by Prospect Boomerang.
We all know broker owners struggle with profitability. Prospect Boomerang compounds your profits by recruiting the best agents to your brokerage.
For consistent growth, visit prospectboomerang.com.
Yeah. So everybody just needs to stop and just listen to this for a second. Okay. They need to take a break from whatever they're doing. All right. I see that. You put your highlighter down. I love it. You're not seeing it because it's a blind spot. You're not seeing it because it's a gap. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's something that's missing in how you look at things. That's why you're not seeing this stuff happening in your business. And that's why there's gaps in your pipeline. Okay. Gotcha. That's why there's holes in the pipeline. That's why things are draining. That's why recruits are draining out like a sieve. Okay. Gotcha. You have to have somebody look at that can look at it with a fresh set of eyes. Okay. Is that another broker that you know from another town? Can you sit down with them and spend an hour and say, hey, let's talk through this. This is how I do this. Yeah. Or is it someone that in your franchise, do you have a business consultant in your franchise that could come in and look at it? Of course we do that, right? We pay attention to that kind of stuff. You need to have a fresh set of eyes, because the reason why there's a gap there is because it's in a blind spot for you. You're not seeing it. Yeah. You need to take a step back, have somebody else that's going to be able to look at it clearly, be able to take a 360 view at it, or a 10,000 foot view at it, or however you want to put it. Take a look at everything, tell them all the facts, and let them help you find out what that gap is. Or otherwise, you're going to continue making the same mistake, and that's the definition of insanity, right?
Oh, absolutely, guys. I'm going to throw this out there because Matt kind of mentioned it there. If you go to prospectboomerang.com. Up at the top, contact us. Right there is Matt's schedule. Yep. His calendar will say, schedule a discovery call. Yep. Like talk to us, talk to him about this, And we are 100% here to help you win.
Yep.
But you have to take those actions every now and then and say,
Right.
because we don't know who you are.
Right.
Right. We know we have, I know we have 225 downloads yesterday.
Yep.
But I don't know names and faces. We would love to know you.
Yep.
But that's one of those action steps too, right? Take that action step. Go schedule that discovery call, and let's dive into this. Let's figure out where those gaps are, and
100%.
And let us help you win as much as we said at the end of every podcast. We truly want to help you win.
In 30 minutes, you'll have a great idea of the direction of what you need to do. Scout's honor, I promise.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's free, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that.
No,
I didn't throw that out. But yes, guys, it's free. Yeah.
Yep.
Schedule that discovery call. Let's talk about it. So, I'll just put it. I'll put that. I'll put discovery call in the description below, guys. If you're listening to this and you want that, just click on the link down there, and it'll open straight up to that link.
Right.
Wherever you're listening to this. So, there's different types. We've already talked about that.
Yep.
No matter what you are. We've said this several times as well. You have to understand why you are,
right.
What, why you are who you are, or why you are what you are,
Absolutely.
whatever you're going to call it.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a key thing to keep in mind, right? If, a lot of people that are, so we seem to be going back to a lot of fables and cartoons today, but we're Aesop today, right? Aesop's fables. So, Hans Christian Andersen or what are the two brothers? What are the two brothers that wrote the stories, all the stories?
Grimm?
Yeah, the Brothers
Grimm.
Yeah. So one of them wrote the story about the lion getting the thorn in his paw, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that why you're grumpy? Is that why you're a tyrant whenever it comes to recruiting? Is that why you're not doing a great job recruiting? Is because there's something that's just exhausting you? Yeah. I mean, are you out there selling real estate too much, and that's why your recruiting's not going the way it's supposed to? Yeah. Are you just getting by with your profitability because you're working so hard on transactions and you're not actually working on the recruiting that you need to be working on? All those things matter and all those things count, right?
Yeah.
Get somebody to pull the freaking thorn out of your paw.
Yes.
So that you're not grumpy, so you can do the stuff that you need to do, right? So if you don't like recruiting, why do you not like recruiting?
Yeah.
Take a real close look at why you don't. Is it because you don't like the rejection? Is it because you don't like having to call people 5 and 6 and 8 times and them act like the conversation you're having with them doesn't matter to them, and you don't want to have that phone call again?
Yeah.
Why is it that these things are not happening the way that they're supposed to? Take a freaking second, look at it, figure that out, and then come to a solution for that one piece. Be Kaizen about this. You don't have to fix everything all at one time if you got 98 things going on, and for whatever reason you're saying you can't take a day or two to stop and do it. That's wrong, but I get that. At least take a Kaizen approach. At least take small steps. At least figure out what it is that you don't like and why the hell do you not like that part of it. And stop convincing yourself that there's not a good match or number of people in your marketplace that would be great at your brokerage, because that's bullshit. Yeah. There's a lot of people that would be great at your brokerage. There's a lot of people that would actually fit. I don't know how big your town is, maybe a teeny tiny town of 600 people, there's not. But for the most part, there's other agents that would be a great fit in your brokerage. Quit giving yourself that excuse. Why are you giving yourself that excuse? Is it because you don't want to train them? Is it because you feel like you're going to be exposed? You don't know as much about certain things as they do? Is it because you're afraid that you're not giving the marketing support you need? Get to the frickin' bottom of why you're making the excuses you're making and fix that. Take care of that.
Absolutely.
And that's what's stifling your growth. Get out of your comfort zone, right? You're either growing or dying. We talk about it all the time.
Yep.
Get out of your comfort zone, take a close look at yourself, or have someone else take a close look at you, and fix the small stuff that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Fix your damn curb appeal.
That's right.
That's one of my favorite quote ever from every podcast. Fix your damn curb appeal. Well, Matt, I know you have an action item for everybody.
I do.
Guys, we'll get to that in just a second. You know the routine. Wherever you listen to this, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, I started to say platform again.
Right.
Make sure you hit that follow button. Sorry, guys, just brain fog or something today. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside it, you get notified every time we drop a new episode. Go to prospectboomerang.com and click contact us. That's my only action item that I want you to do today. For me, click contact us at the top. Schedule that free discovery call. Let us talk to you about what's going on in your brokerage. Let us know, hey, these are my hurdles, my obstacles, and gosh, we'll help you.
We'll point you in the right direction.
Exactly. How to climb them and how to hop over them. So,
Yep.
Matt, hit us with that action item, my man.
Yeah. So if you're struggling with where to start with this, right? Look at recruiting as if it breaks down into kind of the same thing that breaks down with real estate. Your 3 Ps. 80% of your day is 3 Ps: prospecting, pre-qualifying, and presenting.
Yep.
Right. Okay. For recruiting, the prospecting is the appointment making, right? The pre-qualifying is making sure you're having the right conversations, getting the information to them, making sure they're a good fit, all that kind of stuff. And then the presenting is the actual interview. Okay.
Yeah.
Which of those 3 is there a breakdown in? Which of those 3 are you no good at? If you're not sure where to start with anything else, take a serious look at those 3 pieces. Am I no good at prospecting for people, and what is deficient at that? Am I no good at pre-qualifying them? Meaning, did I make a connection with them? Did I start having a conversation with them, but I cannot qualify them to get them to the point of where they want to interview with me, right? Because so many people look at it like, I call Ben and we have a conversation, and Ben either makes a choice. Ben either says, yes, I'm going to meet with you, or Ben says, no, I'm not going to meet with you. And then I hang up with him and I call the next person and I do the same exact thing. Yeah. Call Ben up and talk to him. And if he doesn't want to meet with you, have a way of staying connected with him so that you can have an easy time calling him back to talk to him later, because you might catch him on a completely different day, a week from now, a month from now, 3 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 16.4 days from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So figuring
5 seconds.
5 seconds. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So that's the pre-qualifying part, right?
Yeah.
Getting them after, and then of course there's the presenting, right? Are you getting, like you mentioned before, you getting a lot of appointments, people are showing up to the appointments, all that's going well, but you're not converting, and you're convincing yourself, oh, it's just because they're not a good fit. Well, that means your pre-qualifying process sucks. Why are you wasting time on an appointment if the person's not the right fit? Quit bullshitting yourself.
Yeah.
If you're going to the interview, that means you're pre-qualifying messed up. That means you're and you're not hiring at a 25, 33% rate, a whole different conversation. If you're not hiring at that ratio, that means that the issue is you didn't pre-qualify right.
Yeah.
Or you didn't set the appointment right. So take a serious look at all of that and just kind of try to figure out exactly where you are with it. Quit giving yourself a pass.
Yeah. Don't sit down with everybody just so you can,
hit your numbers.
Hit your numbers and tell your boss, yeah, man, I sat down with so many people, right? I'm meeting with them, but it's all commission. No joking.
Right.
Matt.
Yep.
That's a great topic. That was a great podcast.
Oh, we got another one coming up.
Yeah,
Hold on tight. We got another one coming up.
Yeah, the next one's going to be sick.
Yep.
So guys, hope you got a lot out of that. We love doing this podcast, and we sincerely do it for one reason alone. Matt, in your sincerest voice, tell them why we do this podcast.
We just want to be part of your win. Hang on, don't stop yet. So there's a movie called it's not Bedazzled. What is it? It's it's the real pretty girl that's the devil, and then it's the guy that played in The Mummy. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is it Dazed, Dazzled, something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember. I have to think about that. We're going to let you guys know in the first 10 seconds of the next podcast.
That's right. So how about whenever he's on the beach with the guy, and whenever he's turned into that real sensitive guy, that was one of his wishes, was to turn into the sensitive guy, and he's talking to the girl, and they've kicked sand in his face and all that kind of stuff, and he just turns around and starts looking at the sunset, and he starts crying because he's so sensitive.
It is Bedazzled.
It is Bedazzled. Okay, that is that's what I was trying. That was my most sincere, most sensitive. That's the sound and look I was going for. If you guys haven't watched that movie, it is
that's a funny movie.
Elizabeth Hurley is her name.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bedazzled, and his name is the guy in The Mummy. Brendan Fraser. That's it. Anyway, so it's a hilariously funny movie, and there's a scene where they're on the beach with dolphin-free tuna, and it's just an incredible movie. So anyway,
yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I also just want to be part of your win. See you next time.
See ya.